You didn't mean for it to happen again, but it did. And now, the silence is heavier than ever. You keep replaying it in your head. The moment, the weakness, the slip. The silence after. You feel unworthy to even whisper his name. So you don't. You just lie there, hoping no one sees you. But he does. And he doesn't flinch. You think he left. Because that's what people do when they see the worst in you. But he isn't like them. He isn't like you either. He's still sitting beside you. No words, no lecture. Just presence. The hand you thought would be gone by now is still holding yours. He saw it all. He heard the thoughts. He felt the ache before and after. And still, he stayed. You left him 100 times, but he never once left you. You don't need to pray right now. You don't need to say a word. You are not being tested. You are being held. There is no anger in this room. Only a steady light that didn't go out. You are still loved. You are still here. And so is he. You didn't plan it. You promised yourself you wouldn't go back. Not again. You told yourself that last time was the last time. You meant it when you said it. And you really thought you were done. But here you are. Again. Wrapped in shame. Wrapped in silence. And the worst part? You can't even bring yourself to say his name. Because somewhere inside you, you've convinced yourself that he's tired of hearing it. That he's disappointed. That he's somewhere far away now. But if you could lift your head, even just slightly, you'd see the soft light still glowing at the foot of your bed. It never turned off. Not even for a second. The room didn't go dark when you fell. The air didn't grow cold. The door didn't slam shut. Because he never left. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't walk away. He didn't withdraw the hand that held yours through every quiet night. It's still there, waiting, warm, still. You've been taught to associate failure with distance. To assume silence means separation. To fear that when you mess up, he pulls away. But that's not who he is. That's who people are. That's what shame does. Shame makes you afraid of love. Afraid that it has limits. Afraid that grace expires after too many tries. But there is no expiration date on the love of God. No fine print. No clause that says, only if you get it right. He knew you'd struggle. He knew you'd break promises. He knew you'd try and fail. And try again. But he didn't come for the version of you that never falls. He came for the version of you that's trembling right now. The one lying still in the dark. Too ashamed to speak. Too tired to fight. Too hurt to try again. And still, the light is on. Still, the door is open. Still, the hand hasn't moved. That hand you keep thinking will one day pull back. It never will. Because his mercy doesn't panic when you fall. His love doesn't pace back and forth, wondering what to do with you. His grace doesn't check the number of times. It's just there. Still. Steady. Enough. And while you lie there, still not praying, still not speaking, he's not waiting for you to fix yourself. He's just being near. And maybe that's the healing you didn't know you needed. Not a solution. Not a breakthrough. Just someone who doesn't leave when you break again. The light stays on. The hand stays near. The love stays steady. And you're still being held. He saw it before you even moved, before your thoughts formed words, before your fingers trembled. He knew what was coming, and he didn't leave. He saw the delay in your prayer life. He saw the avoidance, the scrolling, the guilt, and he didn't flinch because he isn't surprised by weakness. He isn't offended by your struggle. He isn't looking for someone who never fails. He's looking at you, still, steady, and he's not moving. You've convinced yourself that maybe he's disappointed. Maybe he's quiet because he's withdrawn. But no. He's quiet because he's close. Closer than before. Closer than when you were doing better. He is the only one who doesn't walk out when the lights go dim in your soul. He is the only one who still holds you like nothing has changed. Because his love doesn't require perfection. His grace doesn't ask for performance. His presence doesn't depend on your purity. He already saw it. He already knew it. And still, he stays. The world says, you broke it, you fix it. But heaven says, you broke again, then come, I'm still here. You keep wondering when the hand will pull away, when the patience will run dry, when the door will finally close. But that's not his way. It never was. He knew you before you fell. He knew what you would choose. He knew the weak spot. He saw it all coming. And he still chose the cross. He still chose you. What kind of love stays through the breaking? Through the hiding? Through the relapse? His kind. He isn't watching from a distance. He's sitting with you in it. He's not just near you, he's for you. You don't deserve to be held right now. You feel that deep in your bones. But grace never waited for you to deserve it. It just reached. It just stayed. It just loved, anyway. You think he's shocked? He was pierced for this very moment. Not just the moment of success, but the one you're living in now. This ache, this shame, this stillness, and in it, he wraps you in mercy. He doesn't say, fix this. He whispers, "I'm not going anywhere." The world teaches love that recoils, but he holds closer. The world pulls away when you fail, but his hand never moves. This love is not the kind that waits for you to clean up. It walks into the mess and sits with you. It doesn't demand strength. It just gives rest. You are still wrapped in something stronger than your weakness. You are still seen through eyes that don't flinch. You are still known and not rejected. You are still loved. The kind of love that doesn't rattle when you fall apart. The kind that stays gentle even when you aren't. The kind that whispers instead of preaching. So tonight, you don't need to hide. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify why you're hurting again. You just need to breathe and let yourself be held. The light is still on. The hand is still warm. The love is still real. And even if you never say another word tonight, he's not going anywhere. He stays. He knows. He loves. So close your eyes. Not to escape, but to rest. You are still being held. You don't need to impress him. He remembers. He knows what you're made of. He remembers we are dust. Dust doesn't surprise him. Dust doesn't disgust him. Dust doesn't disqualify you from his presence. Dust is what he started with. And still, he called it beautiful. He doesn't forget your form. He doesn't forget how fragile you are. He doesn't expect more than what he shaped. You were never asked to be steel. Only dust that leans on him. He remembers we are dust. Say it again, not for him, but for you. He is not disappointed in your humanity. He holds it with gentleness, with understanding, with mercy that runs deeper than you imagine. You are not a surprise to the one who molded you. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are dust, and you are still held. There are no sharp edges in his hands, no disgust in his touch, only the patience of a potter who knew what he was shaping. You are tired? He knows. You've failed again? He knows. You feel too weak to reach out? He remembers. And he does not walk away, because he remembers we are dust. So lie still, little one. Let that dust rest in his palm again. He's not afraid of your weakness. He remembers. You thought the more you failed, the more you lost him. But it's the opposite. The more you fell, the deeper he leaned in. Where sin increased, grace abounded all the more. You keep track of your failures. He keeps track of your return. You measure distance. He multiplies mercy. You fear the pile of mistakes. He floods it with rivers of grace. Not little grace. Not just enough, but abounding. Grace that doesn't stop at your limits. Grace that doesn't pause when you mess up again. Grace that grows in the very places you hate most. You want to hide the ugliest part of you. But that's where grace moves first. The sin that shamed you the most, that's where he poured more, not less, more. Where sin increased, grace abounded all the more. You think there's a line where he'll stop forgiving. There isn't. You think there's a point where love runs dry. There isn't. Because grace isn't a cup. It's an ocean. You wade in with fear and find waves rising to meet you. You expect coldness and find warmth. You expect rejection and find embrace. Grace doesn't shrink back. It rushes in. It surrounds. It drowns the noise of shame. So even now, when you feel like you've gone too far, when you're too tired to pray again, just breathe. Because grace is already coming. It knows where to go. It knows what you need. It knows you. and it never runs out. You've let go before of hope, of prayer, of Him. You thought it meant the end, but it didn't, because the story was never held by your grip. It was held by His. Even if we are faithless, He remains faithful. Your faith is not the fuel. His faithfulness is. You can break 1,000 times, but His hands do not. He is not faithful because you are. He is faithful because that's who He is. Your inconsistency doesn't confuse Him. Your silence doesn't scare Him. Your doubt doesn't drive Him away, because He remains steady, faithful, present. Even when you stop speaking, He keeps listening. Even when you run, He follows gently. Even when you give up, He sits with you in the silence. Even if we are faithless, He remains faithful. That means the pressure is not on you to hold it all together, to be perfect, to never waver. He knows you will, and He already decided to stay. When your faith is gone, He is still here. When your hands fall limp, His remain open. When your heart doubts everything, He whispers the same word again, I'm not leaving. You don't need to feel strong tonight. You don't need to feel anything. Just know, even if you stop believing, He doesn't stop loving. He remains faithful. You weren't ready. You weren't cleaned up. You weren't trying your best. You were lost, wandering, hiding, and still, He came for you. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Not after you apologized. Not after you believed. Not after you prayed the right way. While you were still far. While you were still wrong. While you were still cold. That's the moment He gave His life. not for the version of you you're trying to become, but for the one lying here tonight, exhausted and ashamed. You keep asking, would he still love me if he saw everything? But he did. And he does. And he went to the cross anyway. This is not a transaction. This is not a performance. This is not conditional. This is love. Love that bled before you even reached out. Love that died before you even cared. While we were still sinners, he didn't hesitate. He didn't pause. He didn't wait. You are not chasing someone who is avoiding you. You are being chased by the one who laid himself down. So tonight, stop trying to earn the love that already bled for you. Stop fearing rejection from the one who died to keep you close. You didn't deserve it then. You don't deserve it now. And that's the point. He chose you still. Still tired. Still flawed. Still unsure. Still worthy in his eyes. Not because of what you've done, but because of what he already did. While you were still a sinner, he called you beloved. Maybe you won't win this, not in the way you thought. Not clean. Not final. Maybe this desire keeps coming back. Louder than you wanted. Stronger than you prepared for. You pray. You try. You resist. And sometimes you still fall. And it hurts worse when you thought you were past it. When you told people you'd changed. When you looked in the mirror and said, never again. But here you are. Again. And shame says, see, you're not strong. You're not worthy. You're not his. But truth says, he's still here. You think he's disappointed that you're not over it yet? You think he only wants the version of you that has mastered desire. He knew. He knows. And he hasn't moved. You imagine God standing over you. Arms crossed, waiting for improvement. But what if he's sitting beside you? hands open, eyes soft, saying, I never expected you to fix this alone. Maybe this battle isn't something you conquer. Maybe it's something you carry with him. Maybe victory isn't the absence of temptation, but the presence of grace in the middle of it. Maybe you'll fall again, but that won't scare him. That won't make him pull away. You are not disqualified by your struggle. You are being loved through it. So breathe. Even if you're tired, even if you're disappointed in yourself, he isn't. He's still here. You thought this was the part where he gives up, where he sighs and walks away, where he says, I've been patient long enough. But he never even stood up. He's still seated next to you, still holding you. He never said, I'll love you once you conquer this. He said, I'll love you, period. This part of you, the part you hate, is not a surprise to the one who made you. It's not an obstacle to his presence. It's a doorway, a place he steps into, not to fix you, but to stay with you. You see this as a failure. He sees this as the moment to hold tighter. When you fall, his grip doesn't loosen. It tightens. That's the twist, isn't it? That the more ashamed you feel, the more deeply he sits with you. Not to lecture, not to push, just to let you know you are still mine. Let that sink in. Not, you will be mine if you overcome this. Not, you were mine until you did this again. Just, you are still mine. You try to pray, but the words feel heavy. You try to cry, but the tears are tired. So he doesn't ask for anything. He just stays. And that's more powerful than victory, more healing than success. You are being loved in the place you thought love couldn't reach. So don't look away. Don't pull your hand back. He hasn't. You try not to think about it. The moment, the slip, the spiral. It wasn't even about pleasure. It was about escape. And now all you want is to disappear. You think, he can't want to be near this. He can't want to sit in this room anymore. But he does. He already has. He stayed in every room shame told you to leave. He waited in the silence you thought you deserved. He sat in your collapse and didn't ask for a better version. He didn't shift in disappointment. He didn't sigh and stand up. He whispered, "I'm not embarrassed to sit here." What if the love of God isn't shocked by what you did? What if it expected your weakness and decided to come anyway? He sat with Peter after the denial. He sat with Thomas in the doubt. He sat with you knowing exactly where you were going. And he stayed. That's the twist grace keeps offering. You think he'll leave when you fall again, but that's when he leans closer. You thought grace was a finish line. It's not. It's the floor under your knees when you can't get up. It's the breath that stays when words have failed. This isn't the end of you. It's just the place he holds you longer. He's not waiting for your strength. He's loving you in the middle of your collapse. And that love, it won't leave. You're still here. And so is he. That's enough for tonight. Not victory. Not breakthrough. Just presence. No one wins every battle. No one stands every time. No one is free from the pull of weakness. But grace was never given to the undefeated. It was poured out for the weary, the fallen, the ones who try and fall again. And if that's you, then you're the one he came for. You may not win this today. You may not win it tomorrow. But he's not counting. He's just staying. You are still wanted, still pursued, still forgiven, still loved, even with the weight, even with the repetition, even with the memory. He is not ashamed of you. He is not tired of you. He is not leaving you. The world wants success. He just wants you. So exhale. Not because it's over, but because you're not alone in it anymore. There is no secret in you that scares him. No flaw that can push him away. Only one truth remains tonight. You are still loved. Not because of what you've done, but in spite of it. Because that's who he is. And who you are, still held. You've spent your whole life thinking you had to get better. That if you could just fix this, just stop that, just be stronger, then maybe, just maybe, you'd finally be worthy of love. But God didn't come to fix you. He came to hold you. Not when you succeed. Not when you finally get it together. Right now. Here. In this exact moment, where you feel furthest from lovable. You don't have to perform. You don't have to strive. You don't even have to pray perfectly. He's not here because of your effort. He's here because of his love. A love that didn't wait for you to clean yourself up. Didn't demand you break every chain before being embraced. Didn't require your performance before giving his presence. You're still trying so hard to prove you're not broken. But he's already sitting beside you. Not because you're whole, but because you're his. There is nothing you need to prove tonight. No success to reach. No behavior to fix before you're safe. No burden to carry alone. He's already carrying you. What if tonight you didn't try to explain yourself? What if you didn't need to justify your tears? What if you didn't push yourself to be better before resting? What if you just let go and let him stay? He's not pacing back and forth. He's not watching a scoreboard. He's not counting failures. He's not writing down one more try. He's here. And he's not leaving. You don't have to hold yourself together. You're already being held. You've been taught to perform, to show growth, to demonstrate progress. Even in your faith, especially in your faith, you felt the need to earn stillness. But what if God never asked you to impress Him? What if He's not here to evaluate your recovery? He's here to hold you. No report card. No performance metrics. No silent scoreboard in the background. Just the steady pulse of grace. The warmth of arms that don't move when you collapse. Let go. You're not being monitored. You're being loved. You've believed a lie that says, "I'll rest once I've improved. I'll feel safe once I've stopped failing." But peace doesn't wait for your perfection. It meets you now. Right now. As you are. With the guilt still fresh. With the shame still echoing. Still, the hand remains. Still, the light is on. Still, God is saying, "I didn't come to fix your record. I came to hold your heart." And tonight, you don't have to try harder. You don't have to prove you're growing. You don't even have to stay awake. You can rest. You are allowed to rest because He's not leaving. Even now. Especially now. You're not a project. You're not a broken thing being worked on. You're not under renovation. You're a person, a soul, a child. And no loving father holds his child at night just to measure their potential. He holds them because they cried, because they're tired, because they reached out. That's all you did. You didn't pray a perfect prayer. You didn't quote scripture. You just laid here. And maybe you wept. That was enough. More than enough. Because tonight, this is not a performance space. This is not a courtroom. This is not a counseling session. This is a bedroom, a soft one, a holy one, a place where tears don't need to be explained. You are not a file to be processed. You're not being reviewed. You're being held. Held by the one who remembers you are dust, who breathed life into you, knowing you would fall, but never planning to leave. So tonight, let go of the pressure to get it right. You already belongs. Not tomorrow. Not after you improve. Now. Exactly as you are. You're already held. Already seen. Already known. And still loved. You don't have to fix the moment. You don't have to find the words. You don't have to feel anything at all. Because love isn't measured by emotion, it's measured by presence. And he is here. He stayed. Even when you didn't know how to ask. Even when you didn't say a word. Even when you fell again. His hand never pulled back. His heart never shut. You were never alone. So rest now, not because you've earned it, but because you're safe. No spotlight. No judgment. No performance. Just breath and him still holding you. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heartbeat slow. Let your eyes close, not in fear, but in peace. He's not trying to change you tonight. He's just here to hold you. And he's not letting go. The room is quiet now. The night has no edges. Everything softens. You're still here. Still breathing. Still loved. The hand, it never moved. It's still there. Open. Gentle. Warm. You don't have to reach for it. You don't have to explain. You're already held. And the light still glowing. Soft. Steady. Still on. The kind of light that says, I'm still here. I never left. I'm not going anywhere. You can rest now. You can fall. You can be still. The one who saw never looked away. The one who knew never changed his mind. Let your hands relax. Let your heart settle. Let your breathing slow. because tonight you are not proving anything. You are not fixing anything. You are not being judged. You are simply being held. You're not being watched. You're being kept. Not tested, not judged, just held. The light didn't blink when you broke. It didn't flicker. It stayed. And the hand, it didn't fold away. It didn't shake. It didn't move. It remained. Because love that is real doesn't retreat when you do. It comes closer. Even now, when you don't know what to say, when your breath is quiet and your heart is heavy, He is still near. He never waited for your perfection, just your presence. Not even your attention, just your being. Because that's enough for Him to stay. So now, let the silence be soft. Let the breath be slow. Let the room hold you. Let the light speak what words cannot. Let the hand remain as it always has. There's nothing left to prove, nothing left to do, nothing left to say. Sleep while being known. Sleep while being loved. Sleep and let Him keep watch. The arm still waits, the love still stays, and you are still safe. No one is asking you to pray. No one is waiting for the right words. There is no pressure, only presence. Only stillness, only peace. You don't need to clean yourself up. You don't need to fix anything. Your tears are not a barrier. Your silence is not distance. It's the place where He whispers closer. Be still and know. No demand, just knowing. Even now, even here, even you are worthy of rest. The kind of rest that doesn't ask questions, that doesn't watch the clock, that doesn't shame you for sleepings. Because the shepherd never sleeps. He keeps watch, so you don't have to. There is no guilt in needing rest. There is no sin in needing sleep. Even Jesus wept. Even Jesus rested. So you can too. You are not disqualified from peace. Not because of lust, not because of weakness, not because of failure. His love is not afraid of what tempted you. It just covers you like a blanket in the dark. Like the hand that never pulled away. Sleep, child. You're not a problem to solve. You're someone worth keeping. The hand is still there. Not clenched, not pushing, open. Open beside you, resting beside your failure, beside your silence. He didn't come to wake you up with shame. He came to sit beside your exhaustion, to stay through the night. You don't have to say anything. You don't even need to believe anything. You're still loved. Even when your faith flickers, even when your will bends, even when your mind goes quiet, love doesn't leave. There's no closing door, no angry sigh, no footsteps fading away. There's only stillness, there's only breath, and the gentle weight of grace. The kind of grace that stays through relapse, that holds through the ache, that whispers, "I'm not going anywhere." So sleep now, not as someone rejected, not as someone forgotten, but as someone still held. Still seen, still loved, still chosen. The shepherd is near, and the light stays on.